Hey, what is up? It is the Inked Anarchist again, and just throwing out a really quick breaking news video. Not real common for me, but this one bears mentioning. So, if you haven't heard yet, there was a shooting at YouTube headquarters in San Bernardino. Nobody's been killed, from what I've heard. However, some people have been injured, between 8 and 10 from the sounds of things. Um, what's interesting about it, and again, I do want to preface this really quick with the fact that I'm not trying to make light of anybody's injuries or anything like that. But this is an important teachable moment and something that needs to be talked about. So, if you're unfamiliar with the drama going on with YouTube lately, it's actually been that they've banned gun videos, more or less. They started by demonetizing all firearms related content. Then they went to actually just changing their policy to essentially where nobody who basically made pro gun content at all was going to be allowed to. Produce their videos and put them on YouTube itself to be hosted on YouTube. But what's now happened, ironically, is that there's been a shooting at this point, it sounds like probably by a disgruntled employee, again, in San Bernardino, California. Now, if you're unfamiliar with California's gun laws, they're some of the strictest in the nation. They have 10 round mag maxes. They have no SBRs, no short barreled shotguns. They're super strict, on pretty much everything, but this has still occurred, and it's occurred somewhere that has been advocating against personal gun ownership. Now, it's interesting to note here is that all of this happened, and the shooter, number one, super important that I want to mention, the shooter was in fact female. They haven't released the name yet, but female, mid-30s is what they've said. So that's interesting. And number two, the interesting thing to note here is that there was no good guy with a gun there, was there? There was nobody to defend them. All they could do is flee in terror and hide. And, if they had a weapon, guess what? They could have shot back, and maybe fewer people would have been injured. In fact, most likely, statistically, based on all of the hundreds and hundreds of shootings that are stopped by good guys with guns every single year, chances are pretty good there would have been fewer people injured. Now, I definitely, my heart goes out to the people who were hurt during this and everything, and it's definitely a very terrible incident of workplace violence, but it's important to note that it happened somewhere that was trying to say that guns were purely evil, and a gun in the hands of the right person during this incident could have prevented a further tragedy. But because of some of the same policies that YouTube and its parent company Google have been pushing, this is something that wasn't able to be stopped by a random employee, was it? And I'd like to think that they'll learn from this. Unfortunately, I know that they won't. Instead, what it's going to do is it's going to galvanize most of those people to go, see, look at how terrible guns are, instead of recognizing the gun did absolutely nothing. This was a person, this was a psychotic woman. And so, and I have a hunch, and there's really no evidence here. I have this hunch that it's going to turn out that it was probably some sort of a spurned lover thing, would be my guess. But you never know. Just from the fact that she seemed awful targeted on people and specific people and things, I just have this feeling. But maybe it was just a generic disgruntled employee. Who knows? We'll know more. But again, woman mid-30s shot up YouTube today, and the same company that doesn't want good guys to have guns. So, irony, maybe karma. I don't know.